Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life TV show. Today, we're talking about why having a focus on life balance is actually going to support not just your life, but also your business. Welcome. I'm Dr. Davia Shepherd, and in addition to hosting this show that I personally think is amazing, in addition to hosting this show, I also host an outstanding women's group. Well, the show is okay, but the group is outstanding. It's a group of women who come together. They're women in business. Some of them are in nonprofit. Some of them own their own businesses. Some of them are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. Some of them are even retired. Some of them are in corporate life. But what's important about all these women is that they have decided, they have realized that when we support each other, every single one of us wins. You know that story about the rising tide lifting all boats? True story. It actually works. And so I want to invite you, if you're a woman in business and you feel as though supporting other women in business is something that's really going to be supportive of you as well, I invite you to come join us. It's very easy to join and it's 100% free. Just go to growsmarternotharder.com/Facebook. Alrighty, on with the show. Today, we're talking about life balance and all the things to do with that. Plus, I have some surprises at the end, which I know you're not going to want to miss, so stay tuned. I'd like to introduce my special guest today. Today, we have friend to the show, Gail Petrowski, joining in with us. And we also have Jen Oliveras, who is one of our Ladies Power Lunch sponsors. She's an outstanding travel concierge, and also she hosts wellness retreats. So welcome, Gail. Welcome, Jen. I'd love for you to just take a really brief moment to share, starting with Gail, who you are. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, just share a little bit about the wonderful stuff that you're doing in the world.
Thank you, Dr. Davia. I'm happy to be here with everyone. My name is Gail, and I am, I'm a mom of two beautiful daughters, and I have three grandchildren. I have been in business for probably close to 40 years. I started as a special ed teacher, then went on to being a social worker, and I've gotten some quite a few degrees. Started a PhD in psychoneuroimmunology, a master in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and without even going any further, I just love what I do, which is making a difference in people's lives because it helps make a difference in my life. So when one door opens, the other one opens also. So we help each other, as Dr. Davia said, and I've been leading retreats for over 30 years. We used to call them seminars, 2-day seminars, back to back, and workshops. And I'm also a life coach, and I see people one-on-one.
I'm excited that Gail has really raised her hand in a big way and said, yes, I'm here for supporting the women in our Ladies Power Lunch community, as well as the women in our extended Win-Win Women community, to help us all to really live our optimal life. So thank you so much, Gail, for everything that you're doing to make that possible. Jen, oh my goodness. I met Jen, folks, when I was hosting retreats for a little while. I wouldn't say I was a retreat newbie, but I had been hosting retreats for a little while, and I felt like I could step up my retreat game quite a bit. I could definitely learn more about hosting retreats. I'm a lifelong learner, so any opportunity to learn more was going to be a welcome opportunity for me. Went to a retreat for retreat leaders, and that's where I met the beautiful, the amazing Jen Oliveira. So welcome, Jen. Can you share with everybody who you are and a little bit about the amazing, amazing work that you're doing in the world?
Thank you so much, Davia. Yes, we have known each other quite a few years, and I love that we are in this space together because, as we know, we both have a passion for retreating. So yes, I'm a wellness travel agent and coach, and I specialize really in retreat design, primarily in Jamaica, and of course now on the seas in the Caribbean and beyond, working with the retreat cruise.
Beautiful. I love it. And Jen is so modest, but her background is really in grief counseling, and she has a thriving retreat business that she hosts retreats in Jamaica primarily. And now she has partnered with us to support us as we go bigger and better. Because you know what they say, go big or go home, right? We're not going home. So
No.
guess where we're going? We're going big. So thank you both for hopping on and being part of our show today, because we're going to be talking about life balance in a big way. Stay tuned, folks, because this is about to get very real. But before we talk about that, I just want to say thank you to every single person who raised their hands and signed up to go on retreat with us coming up on May 27th. We're going to the Bahamas, folks. And yes, it's going to be an outstanding vacation. It's going to be an opportunity to rest and relax and to unplug and to detox and to transform. It's going to be all those things. But I think one of the biggest things for me is that it's going to be an opportunity for us to all be together, for us to all be connected. And a lot of the times when we're women in business, sometimes we can feel so siloed and so alone in our businesses, whether we're at high levels in corporate where we kind of have to distance ourselves, or whether we're solopreneurs or small business owners that we have so much to do that we don't even have time to connect with each other. So it's going to be a really, really great opportunity. How do you feel about the upcoming retreat, Gail and Jen?
Uh, I'm so excited. I mean, I'm beyond excited. I know I need this retreat for rejuvenation and relaxation. And I can't wait for the gentle transformation that's going to happen and the collaboration and the connection. I agree. Being with other people and just feeling and getting to know somebody to another level where you can create lifelong friendships. I mean, it's just a wonderful opportunity to chill out and just be who you are.
I know, right? Because how often do we really take time away to do that sort of thing? Jen, how are you feeling about the upcoming retreat?
Oh my gosh, no words to even describe it. I just, between watching the wisdom of the two of you ladies and how you lead a group and what you guys have in store for them on the transformational front is just outstanding. And then, of course, just to have it be wrapped in this beautiful, like spa level, experience on the sea. It's just, oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that our accommodations are spa level. So we're going to be taking advantage of a lot of, I hope, pampering because we deserve that. And we, in the space of the women who are coming on this retreat, we spend so much time taking care of everybody else that this is going to be a really great opportunity for us to be taken care of. So that's wonderful. Great reminder. Also, a reminder is that if you were thinking of coming on this retreat with us in May, on May 27th, unfortunately, that retreat is closed. But wait, there's more. Not to be worried. I know I sound like an infomercial. Not to be worried though, because we do have our next retreat coming up in the fall. If you go to our website at growsmarternotharder.com/retreat, you'll be able to sign up for a fall retreat, which is going to be also going to the Bahamas, and it's going to be just as rejuvenating. We're still going to be focusing on the topics that are important to you. We're going to be focusing on balance, boundaries, beauty, making your life more beautiful, and of course, increasing the brilliance in your business. So it's going to be a real 360 of focus for you on that upcoming retreat. So don't miss out on that one. You've missed out on May. Don't let fall pass you by. growsmarternotharder.com/retreats. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what we came here to talk about. Let's talk about our top tips for life balance. Gail, I'm going to hand this over to you because I know when it comes to focusing on life balance and how important it is for us in our lives and in our businesses, that you really, really have worked probably over 30 years with women to help them to elevate that level of their lives. So my first question is, why are we even having this conversation? Why are we talking about life balance? Why is this important?
Well, because probably 92%, if not higher, of the people that I've met, and I've met a lot of people over the years, are struggling at some point in time with parts of their life balance. It comes down to what we learned as children without going too deep. The reaction that we had when we did something well, and when we didn't do something well. And let me bring that to a fulcrum. The bottom line is sometimes we absolutely become overdoers. We stress ourselves out. We become perfectionists because we want to please others. So when all of those components come together, even if you're confident, even if you're educated, even if you're, thriving and you're doing well monetarily, there's always an offset with our life balance. And we really need to look inside to see where can we support ourselves in having more balance so that we can live healthier, have better relationships, and most importantly, be healthier and have a better relationship with ourselves. And in order to do that, we need to really look at what is off in our lives. What can we be doing a little bit better than we have been, to be able to focus in on ourselves? And that's where we can start growing, when we focus in and not outward. It's very important because, as you said, Davia, and especially women, we want to take care of the world. Anybody that has a problem, a friend, a colleague, a client, a family member, we're there. And a lot of times we forget about ourselves.
So, Gail, I know this for a fact. There are going to be folks who are watching along who are thinking, whatever, life balance, I've got this. What would you say to that person? Why would it be important for her to really take a second look at what's going on in her life?
Well, first you have to really have awareness. So someone that says something like that, and I get it, because life looks like it's moving along. Maybe they haven't struggled and had an impact on their health yet. Perhaps, things are going along. It's like the wheels on the bus. Remember that song for the little kids? It just keeps going. We have a tendency, especially as women, to just push through. And the truth of the matter is, we leave a lot of stray pieces of ourselves behind. And if we don't have that awareness of what's going on with us in this moment in time, right now, is an opportunity to relook at who you are and how you show up and who you are to yourself when you look in the mirror and you're alone and you can speak to yourself in the quiet of a room and say, there are some things I'm not feeling great. Right now, I'm struggling with a cold. However, I'm talking about more than a cold. I'm talking about when you start to feel overtired, or you start to, maybe your blood work isn't great. Maybe you're not noticing some of the physical symptoms that might be happening that you're not willing to stop and look at. Or perhaps sometimes imbalance comes when you overreact, or you have extra anger inside and you don't know where it came from, or you don't know why you answered a good friend the way that you answered a good friend, and you feel guilty. Then you have to deal with that. So imbalance is so much, Davia. And to that person that says, why do I need to look at that? Well, I think it's important, if you're going to live as long as you want to live and live as optimally as you want to live, to start having a little more self-compassion for yourself and be able to look inward and take that time to notice, do you have some symptoms? Do you have some overreactions? Are you able to sleep well? All of these questions have to do with balance. So I think it's an opportunity, as we're speaking, for me, for you, for Jennifer, for all of us to start looking inside, because we get very busy on that path that we're on. And sometimes we need to get off the path to look at where we're at.
Yes, sometimes we need to come to a full stop, like on a retreat, and shameless plug, and really go within and see where we are. Because you and I, we have so many great conversations, Gail, and we were talking the other day about the fact that completions, things like people starting things and not finishing them, or having things in their lives that feel like they're at loose ends, that's also a part of this whole life balance that we're also striving to achieve. So it's so deep. It's such a deep topic. It's such a really important topic. And many of us might be thinking, I'm balanced enough, or we might even say, oh, I choose a different word. But let's not gloss over the depth of importance that this holds for us as regards to living our optimal lives and the possibilities that are available for us. So if you had to give us some tips, Gail, what tips would you share with us today about living our life in balance?
Well, you triggered me just now when you said regarding our conversation about incompletions. I probably wouldn't have gone there right now, but I'm going to, because I guess I'm meant to. When you have unspoken communications, ladies, and we all do, with people in our lives that we really need to handle, And sometimes we don't know how, so we brush it under the rug and we don't do it because of fear of rejection or conflict or maybe a loss of a relationship. You really, I mean, this does take away from your life balance. So I would say get a piece of paper and write down some incompletions that you might have. And you might not think of an incompletion as a conversation that needs to be had, but it is. So I would jot those down. I would also jot down some things that you need to own up to, and maybe ask somebody to forgive you for things that you feel guilty about, because guilt is an unnecessary commodity in our world, and we all carry it, right? It's a baggage. I would also say take time out, like you all know, to do some form of physical activity, because your body needs that. And believe me, I hurt my heel and I haven't been able to do what I need to do for about 10 weeks, and it is affecting my life balance. So I'm back at the gym doing upper body because I can't do lower body. And I would say meditate. If you can't meditate, then just sit quiet, maybe outside on a nice day, and listen to the sounds that are all around you, because they're soothing. Whether they're birds, we all have birds in our backyard, whether you're by the water. And if you can, also have a not just a gratitude journal, which is a wonderful thing to have, to be able to look at all that you're grateful for, but also a journal about self-compassion, things that you feel proud of about yourself, that you know you've done a good job with, and it's made a difference. Acknowledge yourself. A self-compassion journal is a very beautiful thing to have. So I really think that connecting with friends is creating life balance, being grateful for who you are, and also acknowledging who you're not creates some balance. So you know, it's an important factor to take a little bit of time out every day, whether it's at least 15 minutes, to just be and just be quiet. Now, from someone like my daughter who has 5-year-old twins, that's difficult to find that space and time. But when they go to sleep, there's that space and time. So there's always an opportunity to be able to just get quiet inside. Don't turn on the TV right away, because that will totally, yes, it's relaxing, but there's also a vibrational energy that you need your own energy here. So that 15 minutes is really important. Saying affirmations is very important. Positive statements about yourself, I statements, and being able to really speak to yourself in a way that you would want someone else to speak to you. You know how kind you are to others. Start being kinder to yourself. Start really looking inside and see where you need more self-compassion, because you have tremendous compassion, I know we all do, for everybody else.
These are some really good ideas, Gail. And I was wondering, if someone were to decide that today's the day that they want to really focus in on balancing out their life in so many areas, it feels like it's a big task. Where would you suggest they start?
Well, I would suggest they start really getting quiet, taking a journal, and writing down some of the parts of their life that they haven't looked at, they haven't had time to look at, that need some love, some self-love, some more self-care. And that's an important part to do. And if you're really stuck and you really don't know where to start, you know, people like me, other life coaches, you can call and ask for support with, or a very good friend that won't judge you and doesn't have an attitude. Maybe ask her or to give you what she sees, if you're willing to accept or listen, at least listen to what someone that loves you is saying. But more importantly, it's what you're saying. And again, if you need professional support, or you just need a little help there, people like me, other life coaches, we're available. I hope that answers the question, Davia.
I love that you are recommending that we really lean into being supported. I
Yeah.
think one of my favorite mentors likes to say that we have a chronic sense of self-sufficiency, which is not always serving us. I mean, a lot of the times, especially for women in business, we have to do a lot of things by ourselves. And so we're in this mentality of just do it, suck it up, get it done by any means necessary. And it's really heartening to hear you say that this is one area where getting support is easy and getting support can actually help us in a really great way. So, what do you think about that?
Thank you. I've had a mentor probably most of my life when I was aware enough to understand that I needed that it was important for me to have some mentorship. And when I wasn't aware of it, I would find myself bouncing off the walls at times. But yes, I think that asking for a container of support outside of yourself so that you can hear what the words that you're speaking come back to you in a different perspective is a very important piece. It's like looking in the mirror and seeing your reflection. Only you want the reflection to be what the wisdom that is there inside of you. We're all, yes, our own best life coaches. However, all of us need support. And there are many times when I struggle with an answer or a direction, and I go to someone that I absolutely trust and I know has my well-being at heart, and I ask for support. That's a very big step in awareness.
There is great value to asking. I had a patient this morning who popped in and we were talking about something, and I had made an assumption, and he asked me for what he needed. And it was so easy for me to deliver. So always being open to asking, I think, is something that as women in business, we're not always open to. So really opening ourselves up to that, but also being able to find that right support for us and to take advantage of that, because it might be as easy as my patient just asking me for something. And somebody who I esteem very highly always heard me say, it's hard to see the picture when you're standing in the frame. And she said, it's hard to see the bottle when you're the label, or something like that. And I thought, yeah, it really, really, really is. So it's really easy for us as healers, leaders, teachers, coaches, speakers who tune into this program. It's really easy for us to support others, but sometimes it's not as easy for us to see ourselves and to give ourselves that support that we need. So there's value to that. Gail, any last things that you would like to share with us about this life balance? Any homework that you could give us that we could tune into?
Well, I think I already mentioned, I think it's important to write down what are some things that your mind needs. What does your mind need to slow down? Because your mind affects your body, and the words that you speak create your own reality moment to moment. So if we're going to work on our body and our mind, start with your mind, then go to your heart and ask your heart and your solar plex, where your little child resides. What do you need? What do I need in a heartfelt way? What does my little inner child need? Because we all have that little inner child inside of us that has needs and wants. And then be able to go to your body and say, what self-care and more self-love do you need? I think those questions answered in the quiet of the space and time of those 15 minutes will make a big difference.
That's a wonderful place to start, Gail. Thank you so much. So I hope that these tips for focusing on life balance, for helping to certainly live your optimal life, but also for growing your business smarter, will be supportive to you. So before we wrap up, I wanted to pull Jen into the conversation because we're getting ready for retreat. And I don't know if you could tell, but I am excited. This, folks, is our first retreat that Ladies Power Lunch is putting on since 2019. 2019 was our last retreat that we had. So this is momentous for me. This is amazing. And Jen, as our travel concierge that we're being supported by for this retreat has put together a packing list to make it really, really easy for us to go on retreat and have all the things that we need. So I was hoping, Jen, that you would pop on and just share a little bit about how we can pack in a conservative way, but also have all that we need for retreat.
I've
Yes,
got my notebook, Jen.
absolutely. Maybe we'll get into it in our group chat as well, Gail. I'll pop this in there. Let me go ahead. I actually was able to pull it up, Davia, so I have a little visual too. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Okay, let me help you to share your screen. You have to do all the things to help you to be able to share this beautiful message of packing conservatively, but also having all that we need.
Go ahead and pull this up and make it a little bigger for us here. Come on. There we go.
Yeah.
Everybody see that okay? All right. So, obviously we want to make sure that you have daytime wear and evening wear, right? You're going to be on a cruise ship. So top shirts, bottoms, and shorts, of course, typical swimsuit wear, and cover-ups, of course, for lounging by the pool and by the beaches, sun hats, all the fun travel stuff that you think about. Athletic shoes, if you want to take a lap around the pool decks, before you go and do yoga classes and things of that nature, are always great. Make sure that you have sandals and slippers that are sturdy and that fit on your feet, really well, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking around the ship and on excursions and day things. So you want to make sure you have comfortable shoes that do not give you blisters. I know we love to shop beforehand, try stuff on, wear those shoes a little bit to make sure that you're not going to get blisters. In terms of the actual travel experience, I always love bringing my travel pillow, and I find I end up using it for multiple things, not just on the airplane. So definitely do that, and have, of course, snacks. I always suggest bringing your own water bottle. There'll be areas that you can go and just fill up your own water. So that's always a great thing. Of course, you want to think about your well-being and you're bringing good books, your journals, your pens, art supplies, sketching things. If you want to be creative while you're laying and lounging by the pool, or, perhaps you're just out on the deck overlooking the ocean and just see a blank canvas. How amazing would that be to be creative from that space? Earbuds, of course, is always great for traveling if you're sensitive and have early morning flights or late flights. And then, of course, sunglasses, right? And as far as, traveling essentials, you want to always double check that your ticket, you have that on hand. I always email myself a copy of it, as well as my passport. I take out my passport, I do a picture, and send it to myself in an email form. So I have it both electronically and, my actual physical passport. With this particular cruise, you don't actually have to have a passport. You can do your birth certificate and an ID, but passport's always easiest. Make sure that you have an idea of what the itinerary is with you, so that you can always have that in top of mind, both for the cruise ship and for the retreat practices that we're going to be doing in the sessions. Don't forget your cell phone chargers. I don't have it on here, but really one of those cell phone battery packs is also a great thing to have with you. So if you are out on an excursion and you want to charge your phone for any reason, you'll have it with you. Of course, just having your essentials for money. Now, tips are included already. However, a lot of the times, I suggest that folks still have a little bit of gratuity cash for anything, airport bellhops, people that are helping you outside of the traditional, housekeeping and your servers. And then as far as additional things, again, just making sure that you have all your travel documents, sunscreen 30 or plus. You're going to be on a ship, you're going to be on the ocean. So, even 50, I think is a safe number in terms of sunscreen, just to make sure you're covered. I always say have your chapstick also have a sunscreen in it. Bug repellent, I don't know that you're going to have to worry too much about that one, being that you're going to be on a ship. So that one you can not worry about. And then just making sure that you have all your own personal care items, medications, supplements, things like that you really want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself with.
Awesome. This is an awesome list. And Jen, of course, you know me, I'm very extra. So I am going to be also, in addition to all those things, carrying some additional items. And I'm going to share my list with you so that anybody who wants to be extra like me coming on retreat can have these things. So tell me what you think. I'm bringing things to help me to stay tidy on retreat. So things like Tide pen, because I don't know, my clothing tends to be a magnet for food. So I'm bringing my Tide pen, and I'm also bringing Downy Wrinkle Releaser. And here's the reason why: you cannot bring an iron on the ship. It is a fire hazard. And so sometimes in packing, your clothes might get wrinkled. So I'm bringing that Downy wrinkle releaser spray, and you just spray it on your clothing, hang it up in the bathroom in the steam for a few minutes, and before you know it, you're looking quite spiffy. Do people still say spiffy? Is that a word? Is that a thing? I don't know. When it comes to health and wellness, I'm always really, really focused on that. So I always invite people to bring the basics of a first aid kit. So you want to assume that nothing's going to go wrong, but also be prepared in case something happens. So things like a couple of band-aids, maybe some cotton balls, having some antibiotic ointment in case, some anti-itch, maybe some Benadryl in case you find yourself being allergic to something. I remember I got stung by jellyfish when I was on vacation, and it was really mitigated by me having some Benadryl. I didn't have to go to the ship's doctor. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I just took some Benadryl and it really, really helped me. Um, Little things like you're having some Tylenol, you know, you might need something like that. So having that can be helpful. This one is something that I personally always take when I am going on retreat on one of our cruise retreats, and it's something called poopery. It is something that you spray in the toilet before you go. And I know this is an indelicate topic, but let's face it, we all do it, right? So spray it in the toilet before you go, and it keeps the environment safe for others. I don't think I need to say too much more about that. I recommend bringing some Ziploc bags. And if any of you caught my video, it's on YouTube right now, with my dollar store shopping expedition, or somebody challenged me to fill my list from the dollar store, and I tried it. I got some really big Ziploc bags there, so that was interesting. I also recommend that you bring a portable phone charger, like um a phone bank, power bank to charge your phone, just as an extra backup. I recommend when you're traveling at all times, put an air tag or a tile in your suitcase, because sometimes things get lost and it can be really easy to track stuff down if you know exactly how to find your suitcase. Things like a shoe organizer can be helpful because you can put all your toiletries in it. I do this every time when I'm traveling with my kids, and it helps me to be able to, oh, this is lotion, this is something else. I just pack everything out once we unpack, and it makes things so much easier. I bring a pop-up laundry hamper, one of the ones that just pops right up. It makes it so easy. I bring sample size sunscreen so that I can just pop that into my beach bag and go, in addition to my big sunscreen. Dryer sheets, I put those in my laundry hamper, and it makes carrying my dirty laundry back home a little bit a little bit easier. I told you folks, I am very extra, very, very extra. Um, there is the possibility of having some motion sickness on the boat. And even though the boats are really, really different now from perhaps when we just started having cruise retreats, they're so stable. But at the same time, it is a boat, so you want to protect yourself. So I do recommend that folks bring something like Bonine or Dramamine onto the ship. I love to also recommend ginger candies. There will be hand sanitizer everywhere on the ship. But while you're traveling, it might not be as accessible. So I would say pop a little small bottle of hand sanitizer. I usually take these little ones in my pocketbook. In the cabin, there's not always enough outlets. And so you can bring along with you non-surge protected power bar, so that you have some extra outlets to plug in all your devices. Because nowadays we have our cell phone, we have our tablet, we have our iWatch, we have our AirPods, everything needs to be charged. And so having those extra outlets can be helpful. If you have a CPAP machine, be sure to let us know ahead of time so that we can get you an extension cord, and you're going to want to bring distilled water on board. What else can I think of? If you are, for example, diabetic or you have some other medication that requires injections, just let us know ahead of time and we'll get your sharps containers and also get the refrigerated container specifically for your medication. So there's a lot that will be provided, but also there's a lot that you can take to make it better. And magnets, if I didn't say this before, magnets, because the walls of your beautiful, beautiful room are actually metal, even though they don't look that way, they're actually metal. So you can put up notes or whatever, it can help you to get organized inside your room if you have magnets. What do you think, Jen? What do you think of my list?
Bravo. I should have been taking more notes, but I was so listening. That was great. And yes, you are extra, but we love the extra because that is what makes it spot on.
Because you know what, I've been doing this for so many years. I really, really do know things that can make us have a better time. Last but not least, before we go, I wanted to share with everybody the amazing swag that we have for our retreat attendees for this upcoming retreat. So everybody's gonna love. I mean, I was trying to match the hat on our Live Your Optimal Life book. I don't know if I got close enough, but people will be getting their swag boxes in the mail very shortly. Some may have already received them. And what's inside? Definitely, you know, our personalized message and our personalized card that we pulled for you specifically. We have your journal. There's a tag holder for your cruise bag tag. But wait, there's more. There's also a information holder for your suitcase for your regular travel. And you know me, again, very extra. It has to be blingy, right? Of course, everybody gets a copy of Live Your Optimal Life. We have some touchstone crystals, and everybody knows I love these beautiful pens. They are so adorable. On the ship, you're gonna get your CPAS card, and that's the card that you use to get into your room, you used to pay for anything that you want to buy on board or to get on and off the ship. And so it's really a good idea to keep it close to you, and what better way than with a lanyard. And of course, because it's me, it has to be pink and it has to be blinging. I also decided to send you a little hook. It's magnetic that you can get started with just storing stuff that you might want to in your cabin. I dropped some ginger candies because I feel like everybody's going to need those. And of course, the Live Your Optimal Life t-shirt that will be an opportunity for folks to wear on board so that we can find each other as soon as we board. What do y'all think? Did you like what we got for swag for everyone?
I love what we got for swag. Love it.
Awesome.
Can't
Awesome.
wait to wear that pink hat.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And there's lots of stuff that will also already be in your rooms, like your yoga mats and your robes and your slippers and all of that fun stuff. So this isn't everything, but this is some of the stuff that will be heading to you in the post if you're part of this sailing or if you're part of our upcoming sailing in the fall. Any last words, Jen?
I'm just so excited. Excitement. That's my only word.
Excitement. I love it. How about you, Gail? Any last words before we wrap up for today?
I just am thrilled that I chose to take the opportunity to be a part of doing this with you, Davia. So I'm also, I'm excited and can't wait to have fun.
Can't wait either. Folks, thank you so much for watching along with us today. I want to invite you, if you're not already a part of our Ladies Power Lunch community, it's an amazing place. You will meet Gail there, you will meet Jen there, and you'll meet about a little over 1,000 other women who are just like us, who are just like you, who can't wait to reach back and help you grow your business smarter in the hope that you will also support somebody else. Thanks everybody for watching along with us today. We really, really appreciate you. And I'll see you all on the next show. Bye, everyone.